Hey guys, welcome to the Canada Puck Podcast, your weekly recap of what's going on in the world of sports, specifically in hockey and specifically in Canada. I'm your co-host Mick. You can find me on Twitter at ProfitMick, and I'm joined every episode by the lovely, the talented, the only man in the world that I would share a men's doubles figure skating competition with, where we dance to "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" by Aerosmith, Mr. Oh. You didn't know you were getting a Blades of Glory reference in this episode, did you? Yeah. Song of Ice and Fire or something, or like Fire Saga? Yeah. I mean, he just makes movies for you. It's Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams, which is like Grant's like 1-2 punch right there. Yeah, so I was like, wasn't it Ryan Gosling? Like, I thought that after that Notebook they were dated and they got together, and I was like, only the most handsome man married her. So it's. Oh. All right. Well, if Jamie Linden ever gets hit by a little meteor and it just comes in his head and pokes him and his head blows up, he could be there to comfort her. Well, I guess in that case he'd be fine, right? You'd just kind of like put a little straw in his head and blow it back up, and he'd be fine. All right. All right. Cool. So with that, if this is your first show, welcome. We're going to run through some headlines to catch you up on what happened in the week that was in hockey, specifically with the Canadian teams. We're going to look ahead to the week that's going to be with some fantasy advice, some gambling advice. We've got some cards, maybe something, a game. I don't know. That's about it. It seemed great when I started talking, and then I got into it, and I was like, oh, that's not very great at all. Huh. General headlines, so just stuff that happened this week. I believe Keith Yandel set the Ironman streak with the Flyers, so that's kind of exciting. That one we can talk about when we get to that team. And I thought there was something else of noteworthy that I was like, we should bring this up on the podcast. Mm-hmm. Is it hot dog? Feel the thrill? Nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know the old saying, if you don't use it, you'll never lose it. And that's how he kind of treats his body, so. He's like, my knees only have so many skates left in them. Why would I wreck that by, like, working out? And he's like, nutrients? Don't you mean nitrates? That's why I eat so many hot dogs. All right. Yeah, I'm in. You hooked me. I'm hooked. All right, so we're starting with headlines. What we like to do is we like to go bottom up, and my screen must be really big today because I see 4 Canadian teams looking at the bottom of the roster. So that sucks. At the bottom with a minus 65 goal differential through 42 games, the Montreal Canadiens. Speaking of La Belle Provence. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big pass for me. That's one of our rules. We don't want to talk about someone. We have the option to just pass, and I'm doing that with Montreal because I feel like we're just going to beating a dead horse at this point. After the All-Star break, when we start looking ahead maybe to like the trade deadline, maybe they'll become a little bit more spicy if some rumors populate or something. But until that point, number 30. So again, not getting very far out of that basement, guys. Oh my gosh, we got the Ottawa Senators. You mean the Dell when Dell ran into him? Yeah, I did see that because that was last Saturday, I think, wasn't it? It was like early Monday, or it came up during the Hockey Night panel. It was like maybe Saturday or Wednesday or something. I did see that. It's not what you want, you know. That's exciting. What happened last week? Didn't they do something? Did they win last week or did they lose? Because I feel like I talked about how they were going to rip our hearts out, and that's basically all they do is they just disrupt tickets, they wreck FanDuel lineups. How did they do last Saturday? Did they even play? Overtime, Washington. Did you have that on a ticket, maybe? Okay. All right. Nice. Did I have them somewhere? I don't think so. Nothing. I don't know. I must just mention it because I'm like, that's pretty much all the Senators are at this point. Is they just kind of like are little shit disturbers in the league. So I like that. It's good. If we have to get all the way up to 22nd overall, and the fall from grace team themselves, the Winnipeg Jets. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And is Paul Maurice leaving mid-season one of the most under talked about news stories in the Canada hockey world, right? Like, how bad is that culture, is that locker room, is that atmosphere with the Winnipeg Jets there that's like a stalwart, right? Like, that guy was around for since the beginning, right? Like, that is, he's almost one of like the original, the OGs of this franchise, and with him leaving and just saying like, no, I'm done. Like, they were looking pretty good when he left, but obviously there's something going on in that franchise the outlook is not good, and like very underrepresented story. It's just kind of like it is what it is, Hmm. But not just a but not just a coaching change where like there's some stumbling, the players aren't playing efficiently, they let go of the coach to try and like bring like a Bruce Boudreau situation in Vancouver, right, where it's like a positive growth, but like they're like had to get rid of Travis Green because of this. But it would just be like if Travis Green just left. Like they were playing well, they're in a playoff spot, and he just leaves, and he's like, "No, I'm done," and he just goes out the door, and everyone's like, "Well, that's interesting, right?" Yeah, like if that happened in Toronto, like Mike Babcock one day grabs his bags and he's like, "All right, see you guys, bye." Well, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Hundred. 100%. There is a random Jets fan podcast YouTube show, and sometimes when I upload this, I might just like play some old episodes to get them some extra plays on YouTube. And after like our playlist cycles through, this Jets fan Canada podcast shows up kind of thing, and I've seen the thumbnail a couple times, so maybe we should ask those guys. Barney. No, that's a Fred. Barney. It's his friend, Barney Rubble. There's no reference. Just I don't know. Anyways, on to 21. So we have to jump up one spot to the aforementioned Vancouver Canucks. How did Vancouver do this week? Yes. Nice. All right. Yeah, I feel like kind of as the goaltender goes, probably does. There goes the Vancouver Canucks, and we'll see. I don't know. Maybe some fireworks. Are we expecting fireworks tonight? Maybe. I don't know. Spoilers for upcoming segment, and maybe I should change something else. Oh, look, we get to jump up one or two spots to 19th, and we get the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah. I was gonna say, I was like, aren't they 3-0 this week? I'd call that on ice success, right? Hmm. Okay. Nice. Nice, nice. I mean, if you ever wanted a goaltender, I don't know where you're at in the market. I know that the Leafs have a backup goaltender in Mazarek. And I mean, if you want to see how backup goalies do in other markets, just like how Freddie Anderson's doing in Carolina, you could have that same success, Edmonton, if you just take Peter Mazarek. Like, give us something back, obviously. We're not just going to gift it to him. But, like, no one wants Peter Mazarek. Yeah, sure. All right, I tried. Sorry, everyone, I tried. Peter, I tried. We get to jump to 16th, which is like the bottom. That's like the midline of the league. So congratulations. We get to talk about a Canadian team, the top half of the league for once. Good job, Calgary Flames. On Thursday. They've been crushing it this week, right? Monday they got 7-0 or 7-1, and then they went up against the Blue Jackets and 6-1, and then they lost 5-1. That's too bad. Mm-hmm. It's weird that the Flames kind of won the Milan Lucic deal, right? Like, that's kind of strange. Yeah. Well, LA and Boston, both, right? Yeah. I mean, I guess there's no cap hit there, so that's kind of nice. No. All right. Yeah, unless you do some voodoo and get like comets to hit him, what's the point? Oh, what? That was the only thing I had to talk about with the Edmonton Oilers. I almost, actually, you know what? There's a couple things. I almost got duped a couple weeks ago. I talked about this. I almost got duped. It was like 2 or 3 times. One of them was Evander Kane signs with the Oilers. It happened. It came to fruition. It is, and we're talking about defense. They won 3 games. We're still talking about them. Their on ice performance. We're talking about goalies. Yeah, you can survive that. Yeah. No. Okay. That's okay. We'll see some expansion as things open up, as we get kind of past this pandemic. There'll be more money coming in. I think there's actually a big contract being signed soonish. I heard it was like a 2 or 3 year window, and obviously that's been on hold because of COVID. But like, it'll go away. So, anyways, Evander Kane essentially makes that much. It's like $2.4 million with the Edmonton Oilers. So. All right. Well, good job, Calgary. Oh, we did talk about Evander Kane. You happy? Yay, nay? Yeah. It's... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. High risk, high reward, right? Like, it could be bad, it could blow it, they could, he could just, like you said, destroy the whole locker room, or it's a reclamation project. He comes out and he looks like he is that $8 million player that, he was a couple years ago when he signed that big deal. And, like, it's a steal of a deal, and he's flying high. But my question, and what the only thing I care about is, how does Zach Hyman, is Evander Kane and Zach Hyman's styles not very similar? Like, does he not take away from Zach Hyman's kind of role on that team? So, well, that's what I mean. Like, we're taking away from Zach. Like, Zach Hyman is now being pushed into a secondary role. So like, he was hurt for a little bit. I don't know if he was back last week because I looked at him and maybe for FanDuel or something like that. But I think it is like some type of injury. So, I mean, I don't have to get into it. I was just basically being a dick because I don't think he was worth the signing. So. Oh yeah, the Michael Cera's character. I think isn't it Michael Jr.? Just a head hang low, like no. Yeah. All right. I just want to see a line of Zach Hyman, Cassian, and Kane. Let's see where that takes us. So. Like, if you score on the Oilers and you have a lead, they just hit the ice and you're just like, that sucks. Like, they're getting double shifted at this point. Like, yeah. All right, Grant's in. Grant's all in on the Oilers now. Oilers to the cup! All right, so we have to scroll up, and we get to 10th. That means there are no top Canadian teams. How pathetic. We have to talk about the lowly Maple Leafs at number 10. Yep. Could we be very well could be. We've been saying this for years. It's going to happen. We need an all-Canadian Stanley Cup Finals. Why not this year? Think of the stories. We have Zach Hyman versus his former BFF, Zach Matthews. We have Mazarik facing his former team. Man. The only thing that would make it better is if they had Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals on a neutral site in Phoenix, Arizona, at the ASU 5,000 capacity arena, and that's where it's celebrated. This is the culmination of all of Gary Bettman's hard work. He did it, guys. Hockey has finally made it. And to reiterate Grant's points, not that I want to pass either, but like they're a good club, right? Like I was looking, somewhere posted their record in their next couple games. Like if you look at their next 10 games, they're probably going to go like 6-3-1 or something, 6-2-2. They're going to get a couple losses. It's okay if they lose. They're still really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of thinking like it's going to be kind of status quo, and then when we get into that grind, it is going to be teams that get hot, right? So if you have a bunch of games coming up, like you have your 10 games in 2 weeks or whatever the stupid schedule is, like if you get hot and you win all of those, that's a game changer, right? Like guys are going to be, the standings are just going to be a crazy roller coaster, right? So keeping attention to that is going to be crucial, and just staying healthy and like taking care of yourself. So yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm psyched. And I think if we listened like a month ago or something like that, I'd mentioned we were talking about kind of like future propositions. I see the Colorado Avalanche are up at the top, and I kind of feel like those were one of those teams I brought up when they were like 16th, 17th, and I was like, things are definitely going to turn around for the Avalanche, right? So. I hate that. Yeah. All right. Nice. All right. I'm sorry. We'll move on. Let's get into some fantasy advice. So I bet you Grant has something to brag about here. So we do is we put together a FanDuel lineup every week. You can take our advice, both of them, meld them together, and essentially you can win money. We've been fairly successful over the history of doing this. I know I had a down week last week, but I don't know if it's my fault. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Nice. Yeah, my mistake was I set this lineup the night before, altered it throughout the show. I think that I did change at one point Zuccarello for Brady Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk got me 4.8 points. That's how he screwed me over. He didn't do anything. Whereas Zuccarello put up something like stupid, like 25, 30 points or something like that. And that was one of those ones I was kind of kicking myself for. I think I missed out on some money by like... I got 100 points overall, and I would have cashed in. I would have doubled my money at 110. So for 10 points, Zuccarello pick. Or if I would have just taken the starter. So at some point, Mackenzie Blackwood was listed as the starter. He was the starter. He was the starter for the Devils. The Devils went on to win 7-4 against the Hurricanes, as I called. Mackenzie Blackwood didn't play. So I got 0 points there. So had I just played whoever replacement level kind of goalie they had there and paid attention throughout the day, I kind of feel like I got cheated a little bit because I did it early enough, and I was kind of looking at bad reporting, essentially, which kind of cost me on the goalie start. So... yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, Grant, you don't know me at all, because the first thing I did was I followed a similar strategy of last week, and I went back to the well of my goalies. So I looked at who played last night, and the Arizona Coyotes played against the Boston Bruins last night. And a tight affair, 2-1 match that went right down to the wire. They had a shot in net with the dying seconds. Luckily, Boston pulled through. I watched the last 4 seconds of the game. That's the reason I know it, as I was flipping around before I went to bed. I'm going with Buffalo's starting goalie, which right now is listed as the injury reserved Craig Anderson. 65... So I might have to keep an eye on that. So let's just keep an eye on it. So I want Buffalo's goalie. So I will change that before the 5 o'clock games tonight, or 7, however it is. And I want Buffalo starting goalie, assuming it doesn't alter too much. So that's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to bottom feed. I'm thinking that the back-to-back, usually not a great sign. So go Buffalo. Other than that, I got tons of money to spend after that point. So kind of just loaded up. I did it. I went with Connor McDavid. I took him at center. Top guy. $10,400 playing against Montreal Canadiens tonight. I think we might see some fireworks. Zach Hyman. It was between him or Pujarvi. Take your pick, right? Like, I think one of those guys is either going to get assists, kind of playing with McDavid there. Hyman plays on the third line, so maybe I'll change that. Seth Jarvis, who was the first line center for the Carolina Hurricanes, at $4,600. That sounds like great value. I don't think that Carolina is going to lose back-to-back weeks against New Jersey on a Saturday night. So, Nino Ryder plays on the third line. I think he might score some goals. I think we might see an over in that affair, $5,100. On defense, I went with the pairing of Vancouver Canucks here. I went with Quinn Hughes, $5,900, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson at $4,300. That seems like a steal of a deal. Like, great value, independent of what you think there. We've got Lawson Krause for $4,600, and I got Tyler Bertuzzi, Grant's favorite player, at $7,800. And assuming I can get someone like a Pujarvi, $4,500. Boom! Look at that. There's my lineup. Feeling good. Okay. But bottom feeding goalies, that's kind of my thing, so. Mm-hmm. All right, so I did make a change. I did put Pujarvi over Hyman, which actually saved me money, surprisingly. And then I was kind of looking at my extra. It was like $600 or something, or $400, and I was like, that's kind of a big deal, right? So playing around with it just as we're talking, I'm going to put William Nylander over Tyler Bertuzzi. And I think that's a steal of a deal. $8,200 to go move from Bertuzzi against the I think the Leafs are going to score tonight, right? Nylander's playing on like an all-world. He's definitely better value for an extra $400 than Tyler Bertuzzi. So that's my only change I've been screwing around with. But I like where your head's at. I like where our head's at. So that means run for the hills, guys. I know we've been on like a pretty good hot streak. Like I'm pretty confident in our picks, but like I don't know. There's always that Canada puck shine. So like, sorry. Yeah, and like Carolina has to. There's no way that New Jersey beats Carolina, one of the top teams in the league, on back-to-back Saturdays. So like I think that's a foregone conclusion. But yeah, definitely Montreal. Go at Montreal with your like college level goalie. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna save that. So nice. We did some nice work today. Yeah. Well, I did very well for myself. I believe I had my pulse on this back-to-backs. Teams do not play well if they play the night before. So for some reason, I had the New Jersey Devils over the Carolina Hurricanes, and that was kind of like a staple pick. I parlayed, I think it was Nashville. I don't know who Nashville is playing, some bum team. The Leafs, they were like heavy favorites, and New Jersey for plus 465. So I hit a plus 465 parlay to win, oh my gosh, like $140. So that was nice. And then I did hit another one where I had the Oilers over, or just winning, I think, at like some even money, or like plus 105 for $50. So I cashed in about $243 last week. It was an alright week. Yeah, and I think I was down, I want to say, like, if I call it, like, 70 or something, right? So if you take that, I'm up about 170 on the year. So in theory, if I get all wrong today, I'm still up about $70. So I'm okay with that. Oh, I mean, my whole season is, like, was shit. I hit one big I've actually hit like two big parlays all year to keep myself afloat in this contest. So just three. I know you're counting six, but that's because you're seeing double because you're drunk. All right, so I will lead off. I'm gonna take the same approach last week. I looked at the two teams that played last night. So Arizona and Detroit both played last night. So I'm thinking their legs are tired. They're gassed. They're going up against, well, one of them is kind of almost not a fair contest. The powerhouse, Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Red Wings. Give me some good old Toronto Maple Leafs. And because I have their goalie, think for some reason the Coyotes are losing. They're going to win. But parlay those teams together, I got plus 181 at $50. Gives me about $90 in return. So hoping fatigue plays into those affairs. We don't see something screwy. So that's my first play. Is I'm just going to back this. The teams that played the night before lose the next day. I like that play. I was actually looking at that before when I saw that the Senators had some plus money on them. I haven't been impressed by the Ducks on this road trip. Like, I watched the Leafs game the other night. Nothing super exciting, right? I mean, they caught up with the Leafs when the Leafs had a big lead. That's kind of how the style of hockey the Leafs are playing right now. And then, I mean, they beat the Canadians, but not decisively enough for my liking. So I like that play. So my second play, I'm going to parlay a couple overs together. So I like New Jersey, Carolina over 6.5 goals, and I also like Edmonton, Montreal over. Actually, I really like Edmonton, Montreal over 6.5 goals tonight. I really like that play. I'm going to sprinkle in some New Jersey just to give me some plus 282 money. $25 on that bad boy for about a $70 return. Well, my book said plus 330 because I am also taking an overtime in that Calgary-Vancouver game, but I'm only putting $25 because that's all I have left. So, well, that's unfortunate. 1-0 over in the second because of some type of game suspension. Rain delays. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, right? Because, like, you're allowed to take your mask off if you're consuming food or, well, just sit with a beer the whole game. And I was like, oh, I'm just taking a sip and just never wear your mask, right? So I guess it's probably just one of those things to cut out that nonsense. Yeah. Unless I'm like, it's a Saturday night and I've got nothing else going on. I'm just gonna pound a 6-pack, like shotgun a 6-pack of beer, and then go in there and see what happens. And but then you're the only drunk asshole in a. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all. So, what's the most drunk you've ever been at a hockey game? Yeah, we can do sporting event. Okay, nice. Yeah, I think myself it was probably a Friday night hockey game. It was probably Blue Jackets Flames or something like that, and I got some of the like Chrysler Club, so like the fancy club tickets or something like that. I know we met up at the casino beforehand, had a couple drinks. I trained down. My wife worked close, so she was driving me home, so I had like a get out of jail free card and I couldn't find the entrance to the Chrysler Club. Because it was like my first time. It's like this little hidden door, and I remember walking laps, just like loser laps around around like the main atrium for a little while. That was a good one. Yeah, that's a all right. Okay, nice. So with that wraps up everything. You know the week that was. You know the week that's going to be. The only thing you don't know is Grant going to win any cards? Yeah. All right. So what we've done in the past is I asked Grant trivia. I've asked him scoring leaders. We learned about the Rocket Richard Trophy, and then I like quizzed friends about it, and everyone just assumed that it like was always a thing. No, it's a trophy. It's only existed since like '99. Which the really screwy thing is, I was thinking about it afterwards. Jonathan Chichu won that trophy in like 2006. So it was only around for 6 or 7 years when a guy named Jonathan Chichu, who did nothing, was a blip in a pan, won the trophy. If that happened today, would there be a bunch of negative attention around that? So let's say they created like a assist trophy, right? Most assists in the league, you win a trophy or something. They give it like the Gretzky or something. And 3 years into the creation of that, some like shithead like Michael Bunting wins it. Would it be laughed? Like, would the talking heads just ridicule this award to no end? Yeah, all right, cool. All right, so what we're going to do this week is, in honor of Team Canada, we have one of our very first announcements of who's going to be going to compete for us this year, and it was Eric Staal, and that made me think, how many teams have the Staal brothers played for? So, Grant, there are 4 Staal brothers. We've got Eric, Mark, Jordan, and Jared. What teams have the Staal brothers played for? All right, so let's pull this up. All right. And Montreal Canadiens. Yep, you're missing 2. That is an X. That is Grant's first X. He gets 3 X's on the day, so that's yikes. All right, Mark Staal. Yep. That is double. Mark Staal is perfect. 2 check marks. Good job. All right. So Jordan played for Pittsburgh, Carolina. Ding, ding, ding. All right, so we have 2 more remaining for Mr. Eric Staal. And we have, let's see what Jarrett Staal. Did he ever make the league? So, all right, ding, ding, ding. We'll give you that. We'll give you that for Jared. All right, so you're down to 2 teams left for Mr. Eric Staal. Ding, ding, ding. He did get a Ranger appearance. Yes, in 2015-16, he played about 20 games. So he must have been traded from Carolina? Yeah. No, that's a big X. One guess left. One X remaining. Can Grant run the table on this devious affair? He joined the Montreal Canadiens last year at the trade deadline. He did it! Grant did it! He ran the table! He finally won a contest! Yes! 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 Grant, you've never done this before. I've had a special gift for you. For years, for weeks, maybe. One of those two is probably correct. Are you excited for today? I bought this for you, and I was waiting. But I have a pack of Don Russ Optics baseball cards. And you can't just give this to a guy who gets like 3 Rocket Richard winners. You need someone that runs the table, and that's what Grant did this week. So he gets some baseball cards to go along with this big stack of cards that I got here for you right here. These are all yours. And I always feel bad. Well, my desk's a little bit bigger, but I used to have this little desk, and I used to drink beverages and put them right beside the cards, and I was like, oh, those are definitely getting ruined. And they never did, so... Well, yeah, hopefully that's the case. Oh, look at that. First card right off the top, you get an Austin Meadows. And they're kind of cool. They're like almost like shiny. All right. How about a Jarek Kelenic for the Mariners? Oh, he's a rated rookie. Yeah, that's not bad. Charlie Blackmon. I don't know if you heard of him. All right. An Anthony Rizzo card. Gotta love the Rizzo. He's Cubs, yep. I got a Minnesota Twins Josh Donaldson. I feel like it's been a solid pack of cards thus far, eh? And Ian Anderson with the Braves, rated rookie. And Edward Olivieris, rated rookie for the Kansas City. Pete Alonso, Diamond Kings. William Contreras for the Braves. That's another rated rookie. I've got a mystical Jose Ramirez for the Indians. Carlos Correa, green optics parallel. So I'm going to put that one in a special little package for you. Chris Bryant, green parallel. All right. Kind of like these cards. Huh. Exclusive 4 lime green parallels. I don't know where I found those. I should have bought more because I kind of like this pack of cards. A Ho-Sang Kim, Padres. Luis Garcia for the Nationals, rated rookie, green parallel. It's not bad. A mystical Mookie Betts. I don't know if that's like worth anything, but like that's a cool card. And then, oh, this is a dumb one. A Boston Red Sox, a Lights Out, a Pedro Martinez. That's probably not worth anything. Huh. Yeah. Walmart on 130th in Calgary, Alberta. Go there for all your cards needs. They've always got lots of stuff. I don't remember when I saw these. I think I bought them before Christmas because I got a couple boxes of the like Don Russ football cards, and I think those were included in there. And I was like, I will give these to Grant at some point. All right, so Pedro. Yeah. Mystical. Like, probably nothing, like, super spectacular, but, like, all the cards in between, like, they're all nice and, like, shiny and stuff like that. And, Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. They got some cool trade pieces for, like, future ones, too, so. Or maybe at some point I'll, like, leave my house and come drive and give you some. I'm going to put the mystical ones, the Pedro, the rookies in sleeves. Anything else? Carlos Correa, make sure to take care of him for you. Jose Ramirez and Mookie Betts. I feel like those are like pretty good cards. Sweet. Sweet. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that, but I don't think everything is said and done, is it? All right. All right. Yeah, that's... Not bad. Not bad at all. That is nice. Grant does nice work. Nice. Well, you gotta appeal to everybody, right? Like, guns can be hot, I guess. Sure, why not? Sure, why not? Cool. So with that, that's it. We're done. Over. Pew, pew. Gotta go buy some new cards, apparently. Because now I want these cards. What's this? This is what you want to look for. Optics baseball. Yeah. And I just don't know the brands that well. I know there's like Donruss and Panini and Optic, and like they're all different like variations, and some are like better than others. So yeah, that's kind of where I come from at it too, right? And then once in a while I'm like, MVP. Don't get MVP NHL ones. They're lesser known. The only cool thing about them is they do have mascot cards this year. So I got whatever the Capitals one, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I really wanted the gritty, but they're very expensive. So yeah. All right, nice. So with that, that's it. We're done. Oh, yeah. It is, yes. Yeah, but yeah, like Grant said, I think we're taking a break probably next week, unless we do like a weird quick check-in. But we'll see. We'll play it by ear. May not hear from us, but we're definitely back for Super Bowl prop show. So it's going to be a little while before you hear specifically puck, and we think it's going to be pretty exciting at that point because it'll be close towards end of February, and it's going to heat up. So cool. So with that, bye. Oh, I have to say, sorry. Party on, Grant.